board. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. So today we're going to be talking about political parties. But before we do, I want to remind you about our commitment. Our commitment starting today and every day is that we are going to keep all conversations positive, helpful, and kind. Trash talk, any kind of derogatory comments will absolutely not be tolerated. Your teachers know this. The administration knows this. We are lucky that we get to have these conversations. So please make sure that if you have conversations about what we cover on Town Hall T or things that are related, they are positive, helpful, and kind. Let's do that one again. All right. So today we're going to do an introduction into America's two-party system. And our two main parties are the Democrats and the Republicans. So what even are political parties? I want to take us to recess right now. I told you we were going to be talking about recess, and today's the day we're going to start. Let's imagine that you're at recess and you get to play whatever you want. And we know that there is a group of people who really like football. They love football. They play it every day. They're very serious about it. We also have a group that loves to play basketball. Very serious about basketball. I bet there's some cheering going on right now. Yeah, that's us. But not everybody likes to play football and basketball. Some people want to play tag. Some people want to swing. That's me. This is a green stick. I didn't think about that ahead of time because my green screen, this is a green stick. That's awesome. They want to play, they want to swing. In reality, recess people really look like this. We like to do a little bit of everything. Depends on the day. Depends on if our friends are present or absent. It just depends. And so most people feel this way about recess. I like to do a little bit of everything. But these people, these football and basketball people, have very, very loud voices. And they know some pretty important people. And so these people are the ones that get all of the attention. So just like political parties, we have two main political parties and they have their views on issues and on the platforms. But there's these other people who have different views on different things. But because they're not so loud and they don't know as many people in big places, we really hear mostly about these two teams, the football team and the basketball team. So imagine if Miss Christian decided that she wanted to choose a ruler of recess. This person would decide what we were playing, how we were playing it, what the rules were. And these people would love to be a ruler of recess. They represent a lot of different activities, but these people are very loud and they know a lot of really important people. So these people are going to have to vote. Do I want a football person in charge or a basketball person in charge? So let's bring this back to our political parties. We have the Republican Party and we have the Democratic Party. But guys, there's actually like 12 political parties. There's tons. There's the Libertarians. There's the Green Party. There's all kinds of parties, but they're not as loud and they don't know as many people in power and they don't have as much money. In politics, you got to have money. So all of these people are going to need to vote for a leader from one of these two parties. So it gets a little complicated. We're talking about these two groups today, but I want you to remember that most America looks like this when it comes to the issues, when it comes to what they believe and what they want for the country. They're not just red or blue, they're all different colors. And so that's where it gets hard. It's hard to pick one from these two groups if we're not all red or all blue. And so political parties get a little bit mushy because not everybody is all red or all blue. So just imagine that when you're thinking about your ruler of recess and how hard it would be to pick somebody because you don't necessarily want to play football all the time or want to play basketball all the time. And you're going to have to decide which one would be better to represent your feelings about recess. All right, let's head back to the PowerPoint. Canva, mobile. Okay. So political parties are not a new thing. In 1789, we had our very first election here in the country. You know, our country was born in 1776. When we had our very first election, there were already political parties. I don't know if you've heard about a certain person named, I don't know, Alexander Hamilton. He said that political parties were going to be poisonous. And even back in 1789, he was right, and I agree with him. It's really hard to get everybody on the same page, especially when we have such different views on certain topics. There are two main parties, as I mentioned, but there are actually 12 parties that have been represented over the years. We just don't hear very much about them. Independent Party, the Green Party, the Progressive Party, and the Libertarian Party are the ones that have been kind of in the mix. Recently, we had an independent candidate, and on the ballot, his name is Robert Kennedy Jr., and he recently dropped out of the race because he felt like he was going to be taking votes from one of the other parties. And so he joined forces with one of the other parties. So now on the ballot, there's only going to be two. So I mentioned that one of our groups is red and one of our groups is blue. And it wasn't always this way that Republicans were red and Democrats were blue. They actually only very recently got assigned these colors. So it used to be that on the news, they would have these big maps of the United States, and they would put one candidate's party this color and one candidate's party the other color. And then the next time it would be switched, or on the other channel, it would be yellow or green. There wasn't agreement about it. Let me show you what that looks like. So the top one is an electoral map from 1976. That's when I was born, you guys. I know. They didn't follow that pattern. So you see some yellow, you see some red and blue, but it doesn't necessarily go with what we know to be Republicans and Democrats coded right now. And the one below that is from 1980, and Reagan was the Republican candidate. And you see that those are all blue. Fun fact about the top map, that had little bulbs behind the states, and it was the first time they had ever made a map like that. And during the newscast on election night, the bulbs got so hot the map started to melt. That's crazy, right? Now we have LEDs. It wouldn't be so hot. Can you imagine? That'd be crazy. All right, so we also have mascots assigned to our parties. The Republicans are represented by an elephant, and the Democrats are represented by a donkey. And I want to talk to you about how that came to be. So in 1879, there was a cartoonist named Thomas Nast. Some people think that the word like nasty, as in like vicious, came from a play on his name, because his political cartoons got a little nasty. I don't know if that's actually true, but that's kind of the lore. And so in this political cartoon, you can see an elephant laying on the cliff, and that's Abraham Lincoln. So that would be the Republican Party. And then down lower, you have the donkey. Now the donkey, interestingly, there was a president, Andrew Jackson, and people said he was as stubborn as a donkey. And he was like, you know what? I am as stubborn as a donkey. And so he actually embraced that. And he was like, yeah, he started using it on all of his political posters and all of his publications. He embraced that. The elephant it goes back to the Civil War. When a soldier had seen battle, like had been in the battle with bullets whizzing past their heads, they called it, I've seen the elephant. And it was some kind of code, like, you know, that these soldiers kind of shared this knowledge, the things that they had seen on the battlefield. And so that party also kind of embraced that, because Abraham Lincoln was president during the Civil War. And so these soldiers had seen the elephant, and so it kind of went together. Now, I'm not sure that's the best way to choose a mascot. You know, we have a mascot of the United States, and it's a bald eagle, and it's glorious, and it's, It's majestic and it's strong. Side note, Benjamin Franklin really didn't want the bald eagle. He wanted the turkey, but we can talk about that later. I don't know what he was thinking. So today, you guys are about to have a task. You're going to imagine that you have your own political party. Maybe you're red football or blue basketball, or maybe you make your own independent party. And you need a mascot. Now, let's not take somebody's insult of us being stubborn and turn that into our mascot. Let's choose a mascot that really means something. So your teacher is going to hand you a half a sheet of paper. And I need you to decide what mascot would be the best to represent your political party. Think about the image that that animal portrays. Like a lion can symbolize strength. A lamb can symbolize gentleness. Choose one animal, a real animal, y'all. Don't be doing a unicorn and a liger, okay? This is a real animal that lives here on the earth currently. Currently, not a T-Rex.
Oh, don't ask that question. A real animal.
So you are going to complete this activity by writing down why you choose that mascot and then giving me a quick sketch. You are not getting graded for your artistry. Don't worry if it looks like a stick figure with, paws and stick claws. It's fine with me. I do not care. The more important part to me is your explanation of why you chose that animal to represent your political party. What is it about that animal that goes with your ideals as a party? All right, that's it from me here at Town Hall T. I can't wait to see what you guys do. See you in the hallway. Whoop, whoop. Bye.
Okay, so let's move on.